Hopefully that's better. But I don't even know where the camera is on this phone. All I know is that it looks like I'm not looking at the screen. Anywho, I have, as you have said, technology phobia, techno weakness. I don't know what you want to call it, but I do my best. What can anybody else do? Do their best and keep going at doing your best. There's no other way to do it. So I was talking to you about things I've learned in Reno. I have learned about making sure that I communicate time in a certain way, and I've also learned about tea. Now, I'm not saying that we don't have a lot of choice of tea over here. We do. We have tea, we have iced tea, we have iced tea with lemon, we have various flavours of iced tea that you can get in plastic bottles and fridges of lots of shops. We also have herbal teas, fruit teas, decaffeinated tea, lots of those types. But when we go to a cafe or restaurant somewhere and ask for tea, we get what you would call black tea with milk, with a little, usually a wee tiny wee jug of milk. And I found that really tricky. I was not prepared for that being difficult when I was in America. Even on the plane, they served tea with cream. Now, I only get cream on my dessert, and even at that, it has to be whipped or something like that. You know, I can't just have cream in drinks. And the first time I tried it, I hadn't realised that it was cream that they gave me in the little pots, and I could not drink it. I could not drink it. And on the plane, I can't remember which one it was, it actually took them a hell of a long time to come back and take that away from me. So I was sitting with this cup with tea with cream in it that I couldn't drink for ages. I should have pressed the button. I really should have pressed the button. I should have been more assertive, but I'm not always assertive about things like that. So I learned whenever I went to Reno, and I was in the Atlantis Casino Resort Hotel Spa, which was fantastic. See me talking in my posh voice now because I'm talking in about something really fancy. It is a learning curve for me even in those places, because it's hard to describe, but it's when you go to different restaurants, different cafes, because there's so many in there that we did end up trying most of them. And we found that when you asked for tea, they would say hot tea, and then you'd know, oh, I'm supposed to say hot tea, and then it's like black tea, English tea. You know, it's really hard to know what to say. There was one little place called Java. My mum is a bit of a coffee addict. She has to have her coffee in the morning and her coffee at night. But she loved to go there for her coffee. And when I went there for my tea and I asked for English tea, they looked at me like I was talking a different language. And I was thinking, no, we are talking English. That is the language. It's just the terms that are different. It's the way of phrasing things, the way of asking things is different. And that took a while. And then I remember my mum had worked out, this took us a while too, that it was a casino. And we didn't know the rules of casinos. It took her a while to work out where she could smoke. Because here in Northern Ireland and in UK and a lot of places now, you cannot smoke in public places. So she had asked at the reception desk when we checked in, but the girl said something about carpeted areas, which was still confusing. And we had walked around on the first night trying to get our bearings in the place, and found some signs that seemed to be random. No smoking in this area, no smoking in this area. So she just started looking for ashtrays as her sign of where she could smoke, and quickly discovered that the ashtrays were usually placed in front of a machine for gambling. And my mum is not a gambler. She's not. And she found it hard to find somewhere where she could sit comfortably with an ashtray and have her cigarette. And even at that, she was rushing because she felt like she was in the wrong place. She was doing something wrong. Then she discovered early one morning, she went downstairs for her first of the morning smoke, and discovered that if she went to what looks like a bar where they serve alcohol, but there's machines set into the tabletop, the top of the counter, the surface. If she went there was ashtrays there, and she thought, right, okay, so you're allowed to smoke sitting here. And then she watched, and she saw that at the end of some of those bars there was this little area where they served tea and coffee, but they didn't just serve the tea and coffee. It was the waitresses that were going around the actual casino floor were coming backwards and forwards to collect drinks, and some of those drinks were tea and coffee. So, cat's scratching the door that he shouldn't be scratching. Silly cat. But, so she discovered this. So, one evening, whenever we were just having a little walk around, she was saying this to me. So, I went to one of those little counters and asked for tea. And I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll ask for hot tea. And I got distracted or something. Anyway, I ended up with this hot black tea. But in it, she'd put in a wedge of lemon and sweetened it with honey. Now, I'm not sure if you have this in America or other parts of the world, but here we have a drink called Lemsip, which is a cold remedy. It has paracetamol and I think it's dihydrocodeine in it for relief congestion. But that it tasted exactly like a Lemsip, a hot lemon drink with tea in it. It was the weirdest thing, and I drank a little bit of it, but after a while when it starts to get cold, no, I could not finish it. And that's when I recorded a video that I'll have to share on my page. I recorded a video because I was drinking this hot lemon drink and my mum was drinking, I can't even remember what she was drinking, probably coffee. And I don't know, I was feeling silly that night, probably overtired and feeling silly. And I recorded this video and basically said that these drinks we were drinking were alcohol when they clearly weren't. But what I was trying to do was communicate with my husband and my family at home, because I hadn't been able to communicate with them at other times because the internet in the casino hotel was terrible. You'd be logged in for about half an hour, go back to it later, and you'd have to start all over again. There was no signal for making phone calls. There was no signal for posting messages. I tried WhatsApp. I tried Facebook Messenger messages. They weren't going through either. It was horrendous. We thought maybe it's all the machines and the technology was probably interfering with everything. But say we really did have a hard time communicating with home to let them know how we were doing. So that's why that video was recorded, and I was feeling very silly that night. Because even though I was there for a purpose, and the purpose was the Marketing Mastery event, I was in America for the first time ever. I'm hoping to go there again next year. In fact, I'm not going to say hoping, I will go there next year. I am determined. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But I was determined that I was going to make the most of it. Because that's what I have learnt in my life, is the first thing you need to remember is every moment is precious. No moment is actually repeated. I wrote an email to my list this weekend about the 2 days I had, Thursday and Friday, where it was a horrible case of deja vu. What happened on Thursday? We went for an appointment. The person wasn't there. We were told to wait. That appointment took 2.5 hours when it should have only taken half an hour. 2.5 hours on Thursday. One of the things that went wrong on the day of my last webinar attempt. And whenever I look back on it, I think, yeah, that was a hard day. But on Friday, I turned up to an appointment with my daughter, and the same thing happened. The person she was going to see wasn't there, but we were not told. We were not told when we checked in at the desk. We waited for 20 minutes before anybody realised, hang on a wee minute, that person isn't here. We better tell them, they're wasting their time sitting here waiting. But that lasted, what, 45 minutes I think we were waiting, but still, it's a waste of time, and I hate wasting time, because time is precious. You cannot get it back. It's the only thing you can't get back. My husband became ill in 2008. His life completely changed. My life, my kids' life, it all changed. You know, my future that I thought I had started in teaching was gone. I fought and tried to cling on to it, did temporary teaching, and you know, I was in and out of different schools. It wasn't easy to juggle that with my husband's needs, my husband's appointments, 2 kids at home. They were still in, you know, education they had to get to every day, their exams, Christmas, everything. It wasn't easy. And then just as my kids are older and more independent, I can't even say they were through their difficult years, because they weren't. Then my health started to be questioned, and I can say that it didn't take long for the diagnosis to actually happen, because I think I had ignored some things for a while, didn't think they were important. I was too busy looking after the house, looking after my husband, looking after 2 kids, trying to keep the income going. I was too busy to be thinking about little things. It's 2013 I was diagnosed with MS, and that hit me like a ton of bricks. That was like a slap in the face. I was like, you need to start thinking about yourself. You need to start thinking about your time, what you want to do with it. And it was 2015 was basically the first year that my husband and I, didn't want to get emotional, but that my husband and I actually went on a holiday together without the kids. I'm not saying that we'd gone on holidays before with the kids, because those were few and far between as well, but apart from our honeymoon, that was the first time the 2 of us had actually gone somewhere together. And to me, that was our honeymoon. We went to France, we went to Normandy, We spent 2 weeks, 2 full weeks in Normandy. The weather was fantastic. We went by ferry and then by, sorry, that cut off for a wee minute there. We went by ferry, so we went overnight from Rosslare to Cherbourg. Had the car, drove to Normandy, drove to the place we were staying. My husband is a real World War II fan, and he is interested in the military stuff and the uniforms and the history, but his passion is actually the veterans. He is devoted to supporting the veterans, the veterans of all countries, mostly American veterans, and that's what we did. We went to the D-Day celebrations, we went to the commemorations, we went to the events, and it was amazing, it was magical. We went there in 2016, we went there in 2017. We didn't go this year. We skipped this year because tomorrow's a big year, and next year is another important year, and it's going to be extremely expensive because it's very important. But these are our goals, and that's something that I learned the hard way, maybe the hard way. Have goals, use your time, because you don't know what's going to happen next. You can't get it back. You cannot get it back. Don't be deceived thinking, I'll do that tomorrow, I'll do that next month, I'll do that next Christmas, next birthday, next summer. Don't do that. Do it now. Plan it now and do it now. It doesn't wait for anybody. It does not wait for anybody. So that is my Facebook Live for tonight. I will be posting this on YouTube, so hi to my YouTube followers. And I hope you've got some information from tonight's Facebook Live, even though it was disjointed and broken in the middle and a wobbly camera. But thank you for joining me. I see I've got somebody watching, and thank you for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your evening. Check this Sunday Sizzle next Sunday on my Facebook page, and I will get these tech problems ironed out. I definitely will. Okay. Bye for now.